Hello everyone, welcome to JCE eConnect, subject Big Data Analytics, and this is the series for revision on Module 3. So this is lecture number 5 in this series, and we'll be discussing about the fourth chapter under Module 3, that is the data visualization. So before moving to data visualization, let me quickly recall the things that we have done in the previous lectures. Starting off with the first chapter, we discussed about the business intelligence concepts and applications. Then we learned about what is data warehouse and its different techniques and approaches. Then we learned about data mining. We learned about various models of data mining, the evaluation process, data mining techniques, its myths, and also the common data mining mistakes. And then we are here wherein we'll be discussing about the data visualization. So a quick overview of data visualization. We'll be discussing about the introduction part of the data visualization. We'll be discussing about the excellence in visualization, then types of charts, visualization example phase 2, and also we'll be discussing about the tips for the data visualization and ultimately the conclusion. So moving on with the today's topic, that is data visualization. Data visualization is the art and science of making the data easy to understand and also to consume for the end user, right? So by this we mean that it is not just an art, or it is not just a science. It is both the art as well as the science of making the data easy to understand for the consumer or the end user in order to consume that data, right? So in any case, the ideal visualization or the ideal data visualization shows that the right amount of data in the right sequence or the right order or in the right visual form to convey the high priority information. So the data visualization is the basically last step in the data life cycle, and this is where the data is processed for presentation in an easy to consume manner or easy to view or visualize manner to the right audience or the desired audience for the right purpose. So in data visualization, the excellence in visualization, how can we obtain the excellence in the visualization? So there are few objectives for the graphical excellence or visual excellence. That is, the data which we are using to visualize it show and even reveal the data. The visualization process should show and even reveal the data. The data should tell a story, especially a story which is hidden in large masses of data. However, the reveal the data in context, so the story is correctly told and not misleading or not inaccurate, right? The second step is the induce the viewer to think of the substance of the data. Now by this I mean the format of the whatever the visual representation is. Let's say the format of the graph should be so natural that so natural to the data that it hides itself and lets the data shine. So the format is has to be represented in such a way that the format of the graph should be hidden, but at the same time the data should be highlighted or to be shined. the third step is to avoid distorting what the data have to say, right? So statistics can be used to hide the truth in the name of simplifying. Some crucial context could be removed, leading to distorted communication, right? So the next is make large data sets coherent, right? So to by giving shape to data, visualization can help bring the data together to tell a comprehensive story. That's how making the large data sets to be coherent. Now encourage the eyes to compare different pieces of data. How organize the chart, or the whatever the visual representation is, organize it in ways the eyes would naturally move to derive insights from the graph. Just to give an example, many e-commerce websites does that, because the moment when you open a e-commerce site and you search for some specific product, the representation is done in such a way that eyes would naturally move to the derived insights of the product that you are wanting to see. Now sixth one, that is reveal the data at several levels of detail. The graphs lead to insights which raise further curiosity, and thus presentations help get the root cause of the data, right? So that's how it reveals the data at the several levels of detail. Seventh one is to serve a reasonably clear purpose, which is nothing but the informing or decision making, right? The eighth excellence in visualization is the closely integrate with the statistical and verbal description of the data set. Now there should be no separation of charts and text in the presentation. Each mode should tell a complete story. Intersperse texts with the maps or graphs to highlight the main insight, and the context is important in interpreting those graphics. So a lot of graphics are published because because they serve a particular cause or a point of view. So that's how the excellence in visualizations can be carried out. So moving on with how this can be represented, we have different types of charts. We have line graph, we have a scatter plot, bar graph, then we have stacked bar graph, histograms, pie charts, we have box charts, bubble graph, dials, geographical data maps, and pictographs. We'll learn about it. Mostly these things you must have already come across, which are not new to you. So I will not spend much time in this, but let me quickly give you the overview of how this data can be represented. So we have many types of graphs here. We have pie, we have polar, bubble, scatter, then line, then bar graph, area, Gantt chart, then high-low graph, which is mostly used in the stock markets to represent the data, the ups and downs of the market, different types of candlesticks, then box, whisker, and also the time series. These are a few of the types of graphs, right? And here we have a pictograph of water footprint, which is taken from the website waterfootprint.org, wherein we have a pictorial representation of a few products like barley, wheat, sorghum, millets. Then we have toads, cane sugar, tea, coffee, and all. So this is just a snapshot which is taken from the textbook. This basically just represents how a pictograph can be shown. Now moving ahead, we have visualization example here. So to demonstrate how each of the visualization tools can be used, let's imagine an executive of a company. Let's say an executive of a company who wants to analyze the sales performance of his own division. So let us consider this example which shows this table which shows the important raw sales data for a current year. Let's say it is for the current year, which is alphabetically sorted by the product names. This is alphabetically sorted by the product names, and we have revenue generated for that product, we have orders, and also the sales purse, right, total sales. So let's say this is the raw data, and to reveal some meaningful pattern, a good first step would be to sort the table. Sort the table by product revenue with highest revenue first, and we can total up the values of the revenues, the orders, and the salespersons for all the products. So we can also add some important ratios to the right of the table. So if we modify this table, let's say we have few other parameters added. Let's say this example, in the same example using the same products, we have revenue, we have orders, we have sales purse added, and we have added few more important ratios to the right of the table here. 3 ratios we have added, that is revenue by order, the ratio of revenue versus order, revenue versus sales persons, and then orders versus salespersons. So this is the ratio which is simply calculated from these 3 parameters. Okay, so let's say these are the ratios that we have got, and depending on that we'll be plotting few of the graphs, or will be representing or visualizing this data. So you can see, as you can see, this is the sorted data with additional ratios, and there are too many numbers on these tables. You can see, to visualize or to detect or to observe any pattern or any trend in them. So the numbers are in different scales. You can see there are in thousands, there are in hundreds, there are in tens, there are in floating points, right? So the numbers are in different scales, so plotting them on the same chart would not be easy. So for example, the revenue numbers are in thousands here, right? You can see here revenue numbers are in thousands, right, all of them. So while the salespersons, when you see here, they are in tens, they are in numbers, just single digit or double digit numbers. And orders per sales, this column you can see here is, they are in single or a double digit again. So one could start by visualizing the revenue as a pie chart, because pie chart, this data can be easily represented in the pie chart. The revenue proportion drops significantly from the first product to the next product, right, because you can see the difference, the gap is significantly low, the gap is more, you can say, significantly it has dropped, which you can see clearly in the next figure. Let me show you the next figure. So here is the revenue shares by the product. The picture is little blur, but you can see the revenue numbers are in thousands while the salesperson numbers are in hundreds, and the revenue portion drops significantly from the first product to the next. And it is interesting to note that here that the top 3 products produced almost 75%, right, almost 75% of the revenue, top 3 products. So the number of orders for each product can be plotted as a bar graph. These number of orders for each product we can use bar graph for that. So let me show you that also. Here we have the order by products, and you can see here that we have number of orders for each product, which are plotted in the form of bar graph. So let me quickly show you another additional data here. Okay, here we have additional data on the order sizes, and depending on those sizes we have bar graph plotted for the product orders by size. So here you can see the legends are clear. You can see that the maroon or the brown color shows that the size of the order is small. Green or the dark green here shows that the size of the orders are medium sized, and purple shows you that the size is large. So this is just the representation of the product orders by order size. Now let's take another example, another visualization example for phase 2. Let's say we have the again same example, salesperson productivity by product. So here you can see the orders and revenue per sales, and the executive, here we can say that the executive wants to understand the productivity of the salesperson. The two lines here, the line which is shown in the blue, this line, and the line which is shown in the red, this line. Let me rub this so that there is no confusion. So these two lines, these two line graphs superimposed upon each other. So one line shows the revenue per salesperson, which is this line, red line, shows the revenue per salesperson, and while the other shows the number of orders per the salesperson, right? So this shows the number of orders per the salesperson. It shows that the highest productivity of 5.3, which is here, highest productivity of 5.3 orders per salesperson is down to 2.1, orders per salesperson. And the second line, the blue line, shows that the revenue per salesperson for the products, the revenue per salesperson is highest at 360, right? So for 360 the revenue for the salesperson is the highest, while it is lowest at the 30. So, and we can say that the additional layers of the data visualization can go on for this data set. So let's not get much into it. This is just for the example to show the data visualization. Now let's move to the different tips we have for the data visualization to help the client understand the situation. We have considered that these are the tips which are important, that is to fetch appropriate and correct data for analysis, which is, I think, self-explanatory. If just to give an example, this requires some understanding for the domain of the client and what is important for the client to understand that. For example, in a business setting, in a business environment or a business ecosystem, one may need to understand the many measures of profitability and productivity. That can be a perfect example to fetch appropriate and correct data for analysis. Now the second tip that is given for the data visualization is sort the data in the most appropriate manner. So it could be sorted by numerical values, or it can be sorted in alphabetical values, alphabetical by name, or any other parameter if it is present in the data. But mostly it can be a numerical variable or the alphabetical names. Now choose the appropriate method to present the data is the third tip, wherein the data could be presented as a table or as any of the types of graph which we have studied just now, right? So the fourth tip is the data set could be pruned. This is done to include only the more significant or more prominent element. More data is not necessarily better unless it makes the most significant impact on the situation. I hope you agree to this, right? So it's not necessary that we need to have more data unless it makes the most significant impact on the situation. Even the less data can be more significant, but the more data, if it has to be significant, it has to make the most significant impact on the situation. So the fifth step is the visualization could show additional dimension for reference, right? So such as an expectations or targets which with which to compare the results. The numerical data may need to be bent into a few categories. For example, if just to give an analogy, the orders per person were plotted as actual values, while the order sizes were binned into four categorical choices in the previous example, right? So that is one more tip. Another tip for data visualization is high level visualization could be backed by more detailed analysis, because if the data is highly visualized, it may get disconnected to the reality or the facts. So it should be backed by more detailed analysis so that there is connectivity between them. For example, for the most significant result, drill down may be required. You need to drill down the data, you need to go depth to understand its visualization, right? So the eighth tip is the need to present additional textual information. The need to present additional textual information. When is the need to present additional textual information, right? There may be a need to present additional information to tell the whole story. For example, one may require notes to explain some extraordinary results, right? So if the results which we have obtained after the visualization, if they are not not readable by the layman or not easily understandable, let's say additional information is required for that to understand the whole story, required to explain those extraordinary results. So these are the tips for the data visualization, right? So I think that's all for the visualization part. So let us quickly have a glance of what are the previous year questions which have been asked with respect to these topics. So this is again the December 2019 January 20 question paper, and in module 3 you can see there is a question being asked, that is 6C, list and describe the various charts used for the data visualization, which is asked for the 4 marks, right? So which is just now we have discussed about it, the various charts used for data visualization. So let me quickly show you. So these are the different types of graphs, and here we have the different types of charts. You can explain with these are, which is self-explanatory, right? So let's go back to the question paper here, and all the other previous questions, if you can see, 5A, which is business intelligence, it deals with let me go back again. Yeah, so here you can see that 5A business intelligence, it deals with the first chapter that we have learned under module 3, business intelligence and its applications, wherein we learned about around 10 applications. Then 5B deals with data warehouse, and 6A deals with data mining, and again 6B deals with the data mining mistakes, which we have seen around 8 mistakes commonly done in the data mining process. And 6C is related to this lecture, that is various charts used for the data visualization. So let's move on to the next question paper. This is June-July 2019 question paper. And if we zoom to module 3, yeah, here we have a question on what 6b. You can see here, what do you understand by the term data visualization and how is it important in big data analytics? So here you can see like how the question demands you to answer the difference of or the impact of the data visualization in the big data analytics. How is it important in the big data analytics? How this visualization would result into a desired data analysis. So I think that's all. There's no more question with respect to this question paper regarding this lecture, and all the other questions 5a, you can see again business intelligence, which is a repeated question. Star schema design for the data warehouse, which is one of the predominant data schema architecture for data warehousing, and wherein we learned about the example of salespersons again. And the confusion matrix, we learned about the confusion matrix in data mining chapter in the previous lectures, in lecture number 4. And 6a, you can see crisp DM cycle, data mining cycle with a neat diagram, which we have seen in the previous lectures. And ultimately you have a question on difference between data mining and data warehousing, which are covered in the previous lectures. So I think all the questions from the previous 2 question papers have been covered, which should be giving you a clear idea about what are the important area to be focused upon. And I hope that the doubts, if and the concepts are clear, and if you still have any doubts, you can of course reach out. So before that, let us conclude this lecture, and in the conclusion we can say that the data visualization is the last phase of the data life cycle, and it leads to the consumption of data by the end user. The end result is that the data is being consumed by the end user. So it should tell an accurate and complete and simple story backed by the data. That is what is the whole motive of the data visualization. It should tell an accurate and complete and simple story backed by some amount of data, while keeping it insightful or meaningful and engaging. Right. So there are innumerable types of visualographical techniques available for visualizing data. The the choices of right tools requires a good understanding. The choices of the right tools requires the good understanding of business domain, the data set, and the the client's needs or the requirements or the demands, right? So there is ample room for creativity to design even more compelling data visualization to most efficiently convey the insights from the data or meaning derived from the data, right? So having said that, that's all for the today's lecture. And if you have still have any doubts or any queries, you can freely ask in the comment section down below, or you can reach out to the WhatsApp group and you can ask the doubts there, so that anybody else who has the same doubts get the doubts cleared, right? So that's all for today's lecture. I hope this revision would help you to focus on the important aspects and score well in the examinations. So if you anytime if you have any queries, you can you are free to ask it, and just stay tuned for the subsequent lectures regarding module 4 and module 5 as well. Till then, bye bye and thank you.